Hello, welcome to Lemon News, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lamone, and this is my review for Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get to that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share them, leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Friday Night SmackDown, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I will greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So this one should relatively be kind of quick, depending on how long my think piece on the AJ Lee return goes, because no disrespect to Michin versus Julia for the Women's United States title, or to Damian Priest versus Aleister Black. It's just, when it comes to this episode of SmackDown, there are really only two main talking points to discuss, and that is the opening with John Cena and his final time in Chicago, his final time on SmackDown, and the match with Sami Zayn. And then, of course, the return of AJ Lee and that whole main event segment, which I do think, if you combine the John Cena and Sami Zayn match with the Johnny Zayn, the John Cena versus Sami Zayn match and the John Cena promo, you only have 4 total segments when it comes to this episode of SmackDown. And, you know, we're going to start off with AJ Lee here because I think that was the main takeaway when it comes to this episode of SmackDown. And, you know, what made this moment so special? It wasn't that she was just returning after 10 years, right? It's not just because of that. It is much more than just a return. You know, there is a lot of discussions, and, you know, rightfully so to a degree, on what truly did start the Divas Revolution, the Women's Revolution, from going from Divas to WWE Superstars, from having a Divas title to a WWE Women's title. Some people say it was the 4 horsewomen, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley. There is people who, there's a lot of indicators, right? But to me, personally, I think it was a combination of 3 things that really got to it. The 4 horsewomen had a part, absolutely. They helped to maintain the mainstream of it. But when we talk about the start, to me, it was an indicator of, one, the Paige versus Emma match at NXT, when they were fighting for the first ever women's NXT championship, I believe. That was the first time when we're like, wow, the women can throw down like the men. Like, as an audience, we felt like they could, but, you know, on that level of a scale, granted, you know, it was on NXT when it was only on the WWE website at the time, but we were like, wait, WWE's letting the women do this, even though it was in the developmental system? Like, there was a lot of eyes to that. And then, you know, the Bellas and everyone else saw that. I was like, why can't we get those kinds of segments on the main roster? But, you know, these girls on NXT are just able to throw down. So I give a lot of credit to Paige and Emma for that match. And then, you know, they did it again at NXT Arrival when the WWE Network launched. Total Divas was also another indicator of that. I know a lot of people want to discredit Total Divas, but listen, Total Divas gave a lot more eyes and viewership to the WWE product as a whole, and especially to the women, because we're watching them see how they do. And a lot of women got interested into wrestling because of Total Divas. So absolutely, the Bella Twins, Natty, Naomi, Eva Marie, and then, JoJo, had an absolute part in that. Hell, I was a huge Total Divas fan. I loved that show for the first 3 seasons, I believe, until they mixed up the cast a little bit. Then I kind of fell off after it. But even before those 2 things, like I said, I knew I was going to go long here. AJ Lee was fighting for that well before we started to get these eyes, before NXT got this viewership for it, that the women can throw down like that, and was a huge advocate for it. So when she came back, you know, I was one of those people, like, it was one of those things where you knew it was happening, right? Everyone knew it was happening. I mean, we kept making teases about it. Hell, even the superstars were like, hey, it's the worst kept secret. I'm going to post a picture of a time that I had with her just to say, oh, I'm just going through memory lane because, it's a lock. It's happening. So while watching, you know, you just kind of like, man, I'm going to react, man. I kind of wish I didn't get spoiled, or, you know, I wasn't in too deep with all this, because I would have loved to have the natural pop of it. But even when that music hits, you just can't help but go, hell yeah, it's real. It's one of those things where the fantasy becomes reality in a lot of ways. And for her to be able to come back, and now what is rumored to not just be a one-off, she's going to be around for a little bit. Whether that be 1 year or 2 years, I'm just going to enjoy this ride because she is finally going to be able to wrestle in an era of women's wrestling that she fought so hard for before it was even given an opportunity to do so. Her and her feud with Caitlyn, I believe, was a time before Total Divas where, we actually took it seriously. And then once Paige got called up, that rivalry with her and the Bella Twins, with them and the Bella Twins was a lot of good times. It was one of the few times at WrestleMania where I think the women's match went over 10 minutes during that era. And, just for her to be able, she's finally going to be able to go 15, 20. We'll see as it progresses. But I'm just really excited for her, and you can just tell with how happy she was when she came out. I mean, God, the little smirk that Punk was giving out too, and the music, those weren't characters at that time. I mean, Becky and Seth, credit to them as well. They knew hey, this isn't our moment. Let's look like doofuses. We're the bad guys. I loved the tidbit of Seth no, don't go over the road. Don't go over the road. Oh, God dang it. Okay, Punk's going into the ring. I'm going to jump over the barricade, and then he does a little tumble as well. To me, everything about this was just perfect. Hearing Light It Up, again, after so long was, again, it was just, it's just a moment in time. It's a segment that we are going to look back on. It's one of those moments that you're going to wake up, or you're just going to randomly remember at different points of your day, and you're going to immediately go to YouTube and you're going to look up this return. It truly is just that special. I mean, it was so big, even Pop Base had to post about AJ Lee is back. Freaking the MLB website or Twitter page said, "Oh, look, let's light it up. AJ Lee is back." It's a real testament to the time, and she's really important to a lot of the young girls that are there right now. They were little girls then. They're now grown women now. They work in wrestling, not just within WWE and within all promotions of it. So yeah, I mean, everything about it was so good. The setup, mentioning Bayley and Rhea Ripley, the two names that we were talking about that could be the replacement if it wasn't AJ Lee, but no, we got her in. We didn't toy with it for long. She's back, and I am just really happy because, again, it's more than just a return to me. And wow, after 7 minutes, we're going to finally move on from one segment to the other. Like I said, the other two, Michin and Julia, did not get a whole lot of time. And there's just not a lot of investment in that U.S. title program. Now, it does look like the feud is going to continue because Kiana and her jumped her afterwards, so we'll see. But maybe we get to a Nikki Cross. Hell, if AJ Lee's going to stay on the blue brand, I honestly wouldn't be mad after she gets done with Becky. I don't know if it's going to be the titles will be on the line for the mixed tag match at WrestlePalooza, but I really wouldn't be mad if she just went straight to the U.S. title and took that and elevated that and just worked it in. I kind of wish Julia is doing what Sami Zayn's going to do with the U.S. title and do the open challenge. Because, again, Julia is one of the best in-ring workers ever on the roster right now, that is. And if you give her time to actually wrestle, she doesn't need to talk that much, and Kiana can do the talking for it, and therefore we elevate this U.S. title. I think it's very easy. I'm saying it as if it's super easy, but yeah, we just need to put some more effort into it. And, again, compared to everything else on the show, I don't mean this disrespectfully, it was just irrelevant. Same with Aleister Black versus Damian Priest, pretty creative finish. Using the referee to get out of it. I feel like this is kind of like the Sheamus and Rusev stuff, but for the SmackDown brand, I think we just need to build this up and get this to an actual PLE. Put it with a stipulation, maybe a last man standing match, I think is the best way to go about it. And then, just to really give him the time to actually cook within it. But the match itself was fine. I liked Aleister Black attacking first, so Damian has something to sell with, and he has a get out of jail free card. And I like that there was a winner and loser within the match. But yeah, besides AJ Lee, the next big thing, ironically enough, would be the John Cena segment coming out to a thunderous ovation. When he looked in the camera with Stu and says, for the last time on SmackDown, let's go to work. I mean, I got a little emotional because I'm like, man, we really are coming up on the end of this, thanking the crowd. We're talking about his greatest moments, that underrated WrestleMania match with Triple H, where Triple H tapped out. Very good match there for WrestleMania 22, I believe. The last WrestleMania in an arena is in Chicago, Illinois. So Fun fact about that. And then, of course, the Money in the Bank match with CM Punk. He even brought up the refrigerator, saying thank you. Sami Zayn comes out to booze because, like, how dare you interrupt John Cena, even though Sami Zayn was being just as lovely as he always is. He says, hey, I would like to take the reins of the Open US Challenge. And John's like, yeah, man, go ahead. Absolutely. But I want you to be my, not John, Sami going, but I want you to be my first opponent. We get the match. God, it was a lot of fun. I love that John Cena is doing a lot of callbacks to his old opponents. I mean, we saw an ankle lock, an angle slam. There he did the Edge mannerism spears, like that one made me really happy. And now I like how the crowd is now onto it. Like, okay, he's gonna do moves from his old rivals. What's a move we would like Cena to do? RKO. That was a lot of fun. I mean, he also hit a GTS on this match as well. So yeah, that little fun little element that comes to the John Cena matches moving forward. Now that we are near the end, and he's just like, look, I can't face everyone that I would like to face on it, so I'm just going to pay respect to them by doing their moves. And then, of course, we knew this match wasn't going to end clean. We knew either the MFTs were going to come out, or Brock Lesnar was going to come out. And sure enough, it was Brock Lesnar. He comes out, F5 Sami Zayn, F5 John Cena, says, I'll see you at WrestlePalooza, and then walks away. Heard Brock's going to be on the show next week to actually explain his actions, so therefore I'm not going to go too hard on it right now, because we are going to get that explanation. At least I hope so anyway, because I heard he's going to do a promo and Cena won't be on the show, because he only has 7 dates left after this, and this was it for SmackDown. Yeah, it was a fine segment overall. Y'all know my feelings on the whole Brock Lesnar thing. Look, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar is a big time money match. It's going to be great for WrestlePalooza. It's going to do great business. It's just Brock doesn't, he doesn't really do a whole lot for me anymore, just because, of everything that's happening in the real world. But, if WWE believes that they have enough, that his name is cleared enough, then, I'm just gonna be, I don't know what the right thing to do here is. I don't have it in me to stop watching. But yeah, the Brock Lesnar stuff doesn't fully do a whole lot for me right now, because it's not even just with the whole thing that's happening personally. It's just, you came back at SummerSlam, you left for a month, and then you just come back again and say, okay, we're going to have the match, and then you're going to disappear again. And then after WrestlePalooza, what? Well, we're not going to see you until freaking January for the Rumble. It's just, at least I just would have liked a little bit more striking when the iron was hot when it comes to it. But yeah, overall, fine episode of SmackDown. But yeah, those two segments are the two main takeaways when it comes to this episode of SmackDown. It's going to be the main things that we talked about, is that John Cena promo and a lot of fun that the Sami Zayn and John Cena match was. Oh, he also hit a pop-up powerbomb. How fun that match was up until Brock Lesnar showed up. Then, of course, AJ Lee coming back. But yeah, that's it for me. Let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made it this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the day, guys, because life is too short not to give you all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.